first convert this into parametric ratio, which is 1 over sine of 6b plus pi over 8, and 1 over cosine of 2b minus pi over 8. Okay, so let's take the reciprocal of both sides and we can say this. Okay, so what do we know? Because the problem here is one sine and one cosine. What do we know that we can convert sine into cosine and cosine into sine? Well, we know that cosine of theta is equal to sine of pi over 2 minus theta. So see this right side here? Okay, just let this whole thing 2b minus pi over 8 be theta. Then I can replace this with sine of pi over 2 minus theta. Which is sine of pi over 2. Let's replace it back with this. So 2b plus pi over 8. Okay, let's simplify this a bit. This is pi over 2 plus pi over 8 is 5 pi over 8, right? 5 pi over 8. So 5 pi over 8 minus 2b. Okay. Since b is from 0 to pi, okay, clearly this is going to be likely the smaller value here, right? So if I plug in, let's say, a small value, pi over 8, oh, this is actually bigger. Okay, so I don't know exactly which one's bigger, but this is what we have to do. We have sine and sine. So potentially we can say 6b plus pi over 8 is equal to 5 pi over 8 minus 2b. But is this the only possibility? Right? Think about sine is not a one-to-one function, meaning okay, the representation of sine of an angle is a y value. So we have some y value that this represents. So let's call that L. Okay? And that L can happen indefinitely. Okay, if we don't restrict our domain, right? It's a periodic function. So certainly these two could be talking about the same, right? Same x value, but it doesn't have to be the same. This one could be here, and this one could be here. They will also be equal to each other. So this is one possibility. Let's solve and see what we get here. We get 8b. 8b is equal to, you subtract both sides by pi over 8, you get 4 pi over 8. So that's pi over, right, pi over 2. So b is equal to pi over 16. Okay, so that is in between 0 and pi. But it could also be, okay, it could also be 6b plus pi over 8. And let's increase this by 2 pi. Okay, so if you increase this by 2 pi, okay, so you get 16 plus 5, which is 21 pi over 8. Okay, let's solve this. So you get 8b, this time it's going to be 20 pi over 8. Divide the top and bottom by 4, 5 pi over 8. And we get b, then is equal to 5 pi over 16. Also, right, from 0 to pi. Next one, let's let 6b plus pi over 8. This time let's add, here we added 2 pi, let's add 4 pi to this. That's 32 plus 5, that's 37 pi over 8. So you get 36 pi over 8 is equal to 8b. Divide the top and bottom by 4, right? You get b is equal to 9 pi over 18. Next, let's add 6 pi. That's the next period. That's in the next period. So 6 6 times 8 is 48 plus 5 more. That's 53 pi over 8 minus 2b. So 8b, we're going to get 52 pi over 8. Let's divide the top and bottom by 4. And you get 13 pi over 2. So b is equal to 13 pi over 16. Okay, so let's see here. Pi, we got increased by 4. And then we increase by 4 again. So we increase by 4 again, right? So if you increase by 4 one more time, you're going to get 17 pi over 16, which is larger than pi, so we have to discard that one. So the 3 possible answers here. This, well, 4 answers, right?